iron a nigga like the heat on me.
Ooh.
Times is hard, but I keep the heat on me.
Okay.
I feel like this is when the crowd fucking hypes you up for no reason.
It's like he didn't say anything. Yo. I'm recording right now.
Yeah, I'm recording too.
I recorded most of that.
Yeah, I record. I already hit record on the camera. So.
I figured you did. Yo, what's going on? This is episode 1 of the Highly Advised podcast. This is Nigel. Got Lyle and Spence here chilling with me.
Yo, what's going on?
What's up? Big Cozy, too cozy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instagram me at St. Kitch, st.kitch. All of that shit, I got good food on there.
What's your Instagram, Lyle?
My Instagram is literally Big Cozy with a Z, 2TOO, Cozy with a Z. No spaces.
I'm Relaxing Jackson, no G, underscore then Jackson.
Ain't no G in his body, man.
Yeah. So what's been going on, y'all?
Ain't nothing, man. Like, I mean, we took that little break for a little bit.
Yeah. Had to take a week off or two, get things in order, you know.
Yeah, you got a lot of shit going on out here right now.
What's been going on with you, Lyle?
Shit, man. Everything has been really good. The family's good. Work has been a little hectic right now because I think we all know why. It's been a solid week, you know. Just staying safe and keep continuing to work hard every day, you know.
Word.
What'd you do over that break or whatever? Like that week we took off.
So the week that we took off is so Nigel and myself, we went ahead and went to the WWE event in Philly, the Wells Fargo Center. We went to go see Elimination Chamber. Now, I grew up as a pro wrestling fan, and I loved it in the early 2000s. It was really my shit. I didn't get really into it until really 1999, 2000. But early 2000s was my shit until I got into 8th grade. That's when I stopped.
Fucking what?
What's funny?
What's it, a biopic, man?
I mean, I'm just trying to give a little backstory to the thing.
Well, how was your time at the actual Elimination Chamber? Let's talk about that.
Well, my time.
So you know that one time, I got tossed on the bed. My brother pile drive me on the bed, and ever since then,
I never forgot.
And then I was like, "How did you learn that?" He said, "Triple H," and I just been ever since, man.
On the real, we used to wrestle out there. We used to wrestle the neighborhood kids and all that. Had hardcore matches, all sorts of crazy shit when I was a kid. Man.
You ever pedigree somebody?
No, but I did a Stone Cold Stunner.
You know, that's gonna be the second time you said
Hurt
that on
yourself.
the podcast. What? That's gonna be the second time you said that on the podcast. You know that, right? You. I thought you saying that on another one. Like, yo, you ever pedigree somebody? Like that exact words. Like,
it happened. I did it to someone when I was in 3rd grade.
But the event was cool. I liked the event. I thought the event was great. I had a really, really good time. I never had the live experience before. So I definitely recommend anybody who watches pro wrestling to definitely go to a show, because it's definitely better when you're there live versus watching on TV.
It actually is, man. Like, it's kind of crazy the amount of people who are really into the event, all dressed up and whatnot.
Really?
Yeah, man. The energy's there. Like, people who want to be there are there, and they're all just into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you get all sorts of people too. You get old, young,
nerdy,
nerdy, dirty people there. But you also got
you said dirty?
Yeah, dirty people.
And it,
you remember when we went to see the Conor McGregor fight against Aldo, and it was the one dude with the bib on, and the wife be there?
No, I didn't see that.
Covered in barbecue sauce.
Yeah. That was a moment I'll never forget in the Buffalo Wild Wings era.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that shit. But the event was cool, man. There were some tings there, and it was just cool all around. You know, I was just so involved. And we just had a good time laughing, cracking jokes. And it just looks, one thing I will say, the arena and everything looks a lot smaller in person. Like the ring set up a lot compared to on TV. So that was interesting.
This is in the nosebleeds?
No, we were actually right there, man.
Oh, word?
Yeah, we were not too far away.
Yeah.
We saw the Elimination Chamber actually lower onto the ring.
Yeah.
And it's we saw it all. Yeah. Now, the one thing I will say, just like with the UFC event, if you have something obstructing your view, then that kind of isn't the best thing. But if you're there and you like can see mostly everything, it's kind of dope, just being there and seeing it. Like, and you see the wrestlers like Braun Strowman. You know who that is?
I don't watch wrestling at all anymore.
Well, if you look it up, he's a pretty big dude, and seeing him in person, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he's
like
huge.
I think they bill him as like 385 or something like that. Now I don't. He's definitely in the 300s. He's that big.
Jesus.
That's what I can say from seeing him. But like it's interesting just to see people live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually went to a wrestling event like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It was actually at Dell State. It was ECW, like when they were really small, and I saw the Dudley Boys.
Yeah.
I was shook, bro. Because the Dudley Boys, you remember ECW was like a wild era.
Right.
Like the Dudley Boys were so wild that the referee kicked them out. And as a kid, I was like 8 or 9.
So you believe the whole thing? You were like, oh
my
God, what'd they do?
Yeah, like it was like some crazy, like they was throwing dudes through chairs and ladders and all of that shit.
Yeah.
And I remember me and my uncle walked back home after that because I lived up the street. I was so shook because it was like probably like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. I was so shook from that shit.
Well, I don't know. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, I want to go to another one, definitely. You know what I mean? Maybe to, like, Money in the Bank or some shit. I think that'd be kind of dope to see a ladder match.
I think, but that all depends about how this fucking whole COVID shit is going down.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like, coronavirus is really, leading us down a path that I haven't seen in my lifetime. Like, it's a little weird to see how the world is being affected by it. All types of things are being shut down.
Yeah.
Toilet paper is being sold out. If you're not on toilet paper by now, you're not wiping your ass.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's just it, man.
I know a babe, her mom bought 90 rolls of toilet paper.
How much? What does she need to do? Like,
that's what I asked. That's what I said. I was just like, nobody can poop that much, yo. I was like, yo, you're not. I was like, yo, nobody in your crib is dropping turd like that. She's like, I'm still trying to figure out myself, yo.
No, it's kind of weird. Like, I bought like, just in case for whatever reason they're like, hey, you can't leave your house. I bought like 2 weeks worth of shit, or what I deem to be 2 weeks worth of shit, and I'm like, I'll be all right, but otherwise, man, like, I don't think it's just gonna last forever. I think the worst of it we'll see is like this month in May.
Well, apparently it's going to get worse. It won't get Wuhan worse, but it's going to get to the point where it might drag out to the summer. That's what. Yeah. Well, if you watch the news or read up on it and shit, that's what they're saying. That's what they're predicting. Yeah.
I saw something like on Twitter where they was talking about what was it? CNN or CNBC said something about like they may be advising people to quarantine themselves for up to 8 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, like
2 months.
That's crazy.
My cousin, she goes to school in Atlanta. Like, she told me today, like she comes back home Wednesday and she won't go back to school until the fall semester.
I just don't see how it could last this long. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you want to say like 2 weeks or whatever. All right, cool. You want to say a month or whatever. All right, cool. But you're talking about like possibly in the like midsummer. I just don't see it lasting that long. You know what I mean?
That's what the experts say. You know,
You gotta trust experts. Right?
Yeah.
Trust the guy that wants you to listen to him.
Yeah.
Stay in your house, kids. Stay in your house. Buy all the toilet paper. I seen a picture of a chick. I think I sent it to y'all. It was a chick. She had like 20 gallons of milk in her cart.
Bro, for what?
I don't know, bro. Son,
if you're stuck in the house, like, that's just gonna go bad eventually. Like,
bro, all that milk is gonna go bad by the 25th.
For what? For real? Like, just why?
That's the thing. Like, people are prepping like they're gonna be stuck in the house for the rest of their lives. We're like, no, like maybe till the end of the month. Like, that's it. You know.
I think it might be long. I honestly, I could see it leaning into like mid-April. I could see it leaning into mid-April, but. Because if you think about it, right now they're just telling you everybody stay in the house for 2 weeks because that's typically how long not what the quarantine period is, right?
Correct, yeah.
But what does that really? Only thing that says is if we keep you in the house for 2 weeks, we're hoping that we're able to find a way of controlling and containing this within that time. That doesn't mean if you have it, because you're still seeing cases pop up across the state,
Right.
across the country. Actually, I think 10 million, not 10 million. It's like it's a large number.
Well, I mean,
That's died so far, but in comparison to population, is like 2%.
I was just reading online, like maybe a couple of hours ago. They said that the highest spike of people getting the coronavirus happened in Italy, and everybody knows they're shut down right now.
They're like
Italy's
3,000, some change or some shit like that.
You saw? I read someone like in Africa or whatever. Somewhere in Africa, there's a new case, but it's an Italian man. Like,
Shit.
then there was another case in Cuba, from what I'm hearing, that was another Italian visiting. Allegedly, they're saying there's a man that's from Italy that visited Cuba, and pretty much tested positive once he got into Cuba.
Wow, man! Like, just to imagine that it could be spreading that fast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's insane to me.
I think it's crazy with this whole scenario because you have the people who are taking it very lightly. Oh, it's like the common cold, so they don't give a fuck.
Right.
And then you have the people who are just like everybody who's going to these stores and buying out the shelves, taking it to the extreme. And I feel right now the media isn't helping because it's encouraging people to go about a certain way.
Right.
And I think right now it's going to be a little crazy and all that because it's a new thing. But by the time April comes around, May comes around, I feel like you won't see a lot of people panicking and more people will start to adjust to what's going on.
Did y'all see that Kim Kardashian, right? She posted this post that said it was from a book, and it said a disease will come by, pneumonia-like, and it'll, spread through the world really quick, and then
Wuhan 41.
Yeah, say it again.
It's Wuhan 41.
No, I didn't say it. It said
you talking about there's a book from like the 80s where it says this disease will happen in in decades, like ideally like in the 20s or something, or the 2000s, and it's called like Wuhan something, and it'll spread across the world.
Nah, I saw one that was written in 2008 that was similar. It said like, hey, like some shit's gonna come around, go away, come back 10 years later, and then go away again forever.
Yeah, but what you're talking about is what I'm talking about, but it was from a book from the 80s.
Okay, so
and it was called like Wuhan 41. My mother showed it to me.
Did Nostradamus predict it?
Did it?
No,
Bill Gates did.
No.
That legend Bill Gates predicted this.
But no, I saw that Tom Hanks had it. It's kind of crazy that I think that's when people started really taking it seriously. It's like, oh, the celebrity has it, now we all have to be kind of afraid now. Fucking Rudy Gobert went and touched all the mics, and he was like, all right, I'm out.
He needs his ass whooped for that, though. For real.
He apologized.
Because, I mean, he didn't know, you know what I mean?
You don't joke about shit like that, though.
I don't think anybody was taking it seriously. I don't think a lot of people were taking it
Let's
seriously.
be honest.
Why would you joke like that, though? Like, let's be for real. Why would you?
Bro, he just...
But why?
Bro, that's just common sense. Common sense, yes, you don't joke about certain things, but in the same regard... When you're thinking, if everybody around you doesn't have it, right?
Okay.
You're gonna say, okay, you can make a joke. You're gonna make light of the situation. He's a celebrity at that, so he's thinking, this is probably hitting areas that don't affect celebrities, and then something like that happens. He gets infected, and now it's like, oh, damn, I shouldn't have joked like that.
Now, if I was Donovan Mitchell, I'd be very mad. I'd be like, yo, like.
Well, yeah. They were saying he was being careless in the locker room, meaning so. It's different if you joke about it, right? Verbally joke about it and shit. But it's another thing when you're going around touching shit and then him being careless in the locker room, as the reports are saying. Like, you know.
But what's careless defined as?
Huh?
What is careless being defined as?
Well, I mean, if it's anything physically, that's careless.
But,
you could joke about it or have an opinion about it, whatever. That's cool. But once you start, I'm just joking around. Like, that isn't cool.
But at the same
because you spreading shit, man. Like I feel like you saying that because like it's not happening to you. So, but if a nigga is coughing and joking around despite knowing the situation we're in, I'm gonna be like, yo, cut it out. Like that shit is not.
Would you really be mad at him though when shit's not going on though?
What do you mean? Shit is going on though.
But
yeah,
bro,
go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say
already affected 3 niggas, 2 from the Pistons and 1 from Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, so let me ask you this, right? So let's say I'm joking around. Oh, this is one of them toxic text messages. I just got one of those. Hey, this thing is going kind of crazy. Just thinking about you. Hope you're safe.
God, man. Like, shut up.
The toxic don't rest, man. Yeah. But you got to think about it, bro. That'd be like me saying. That'd be like any of us sitting here, right?
Okay.
Saying, oh, like this is effed up and this is crazy, but you're taking it lightly, and you. Let's say you're openly joking about it, right?
All right.
You're joking about it, and then like you're still dapping me up and all of that type of stuff, and then you find out you have it. Of course, then I could be like, oh, yo, he was being real careless. He was joking around, being real careless. To you, you're like, well, bro, I was just dapping you up, still playing around like any other time.
Right.
Like,
no, I don't. I think that's like a difference. You see what the nigga did, right?
Yes.
He's sitting there. Okay, then he goes back to rub the mic to get a laugh. Like, no,
yeah.
bro, that's not cool. I didn't think that shit was funny.
I thought that shit was funny.
It was funny.
That shit was funny.
It's funny because it didn't happen to you.
No,
that's always gonna be the case, though.
Not necessarily,
bro.
Nah, that's it.
I didn't find it funny, so that's not always the case.
No, but it's always gonna be the case. Something can always be funny to you if it doesn't happen to you. Like that's like watching. Bro, that's like watching fight videos and you seeing someone get stomped out and you're like, yo, and don't even cap like you ain't never laughed at something like that.
We were just laughing at the dude Pop Smoke was beating up. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't laughing at that. We was just saying like it was
Cap City Records.
No,
man.
no.
How much was your advance?
Wow.
What was your advance?
What?
What was your advance?
No, bro, that's
you saw when you signed you signed the Cap City Records right now.
Man, you dragging that. What I'm saying is
you signed with Meg.
Hey man, she did 44,000.
That's bad.
I mean, hey, I'm just saying
to be the biggest artist be one of the biggest artists last year.
Is she one of the biggest, or she's just one of the most popping? There's a difference.
I think she's one of the most popping artists.
She's one of the most pop.
Yeah.
She's one out of the new artists that, like every year you have new artists that come around, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And definitely in female rap groups, this definitely got into a whole nother conversation.
Well,
but
we're here now.
yeah, fuck it. Like when you're definitely female rappers, because there's a lot, there's only there's only like 2 or 3 that are actually stars, right?
Okay.
She's one of the other stars. After Nicki, after Cardi.
Okay.
What's the next female rapper you're saying?
She's not on that tier. It's just
she's not. I'm not saying she's on that tier in terms of what she's put out. She hasn't put out enough to be on that tier. Okay. But in a sense, but
has Cardi too. If we're being really honest.
Yeah, but Cardi, we all know Cardi doesn't really sell solely off of her music.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, she does.
No, she doesn't.
She's a personality.
She's a personality. She sells a lot off of because people like Cardi B.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. She is a personality, but I feel like her music contributes to her music sales.
I mean,
her music contributes to her popularity, but people like her more. Listen, when you see the Pepsi commercials, right, and the Super Bowl commercials and all of that, you're not seeing her rapping. You're hearing her say the "occur" and all the things that make her popular.
You're right, and I'm not disagreeing with you guys.
Right.
But I think her music does sell because of her music.
What makes her so popular? Is it her music or is it her personality?
I think it's a combination of both.
No, what between the two, if there's a balance, right?
Okay.
Are they 50-50? What's more? Are they 50-50 or which one's more?
I would have to say her music because remember she was in love with hip hop and nobody was really know her like that until she coming out with music.
Bro, listen, Bro, there's a lot of people that I think a lot of people know Cardi B. When you hear people that know of Cardi B,
yeah,
everybody says, "Oh, that's the girl from Instagram." She was a stripper from Instagram.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know, bro. But at the same time, that's like saying the conversation we had before about Sir. Sir is a relatively he's at a certain tier of artistry, and you're like, "Oh, you didn't know that." That doesn't mean they don't. So let me ask you this: Did Thundercat exist? Did Thundercat exist before you discovered him?
Yeah.
he was a. You said he's the future, right?
Of his genre of music, yeah.
Yes, he's been putting out that type of music since before 2010. I heard his Thundercat in probably 2013. Over time he's progressed. He's progressing. He has a huge fan base. I've seen him at the Roots picnic a couple of years ago.
I What's wrong with that?
Yeah, like, and I would, when I saw him there, I wasn't even really pressed to see him. I was like, oh, Playboy Cardi's performing also. Let me go over there. But that's when Magnolia was huge.
I'm telling you, man. You see,
That was the only hit though.
No, my thing is this, right? Like, Cardi B is a popular personality, right? It just so happens that as well, she also makes some good music. You know,
right?
So
she would still be Cardi B. And she still would be popular and known even if she didn't put out music.
Right.
I'm not saying, but
I mean, case in point, when's the last time she put out new music?
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that she wouldn't be popular without the music. I'm just saying I feel like the music helped her get to where she's at right now.
What you're saying is it helped
that's
her
what
more.
I'm saying, huh?
You're saying the music contributed more to who she is.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that she would have never been popular or got in a commercial or not. I just think that through the music, it just helped her get to where she's at now.
I think the music made her more of a household name or more widespread. But she at the same time is just like the I forget the girl's name that we saw in the Thundercat video, right?
Kali Uchis.
Not Kali Uchis, the black girl that he got money girl, right?
Yeah.
She's on the internet. She has a huge fan base and everything like that. She has over 1 million followers on Twitter and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
But you didn't know who you were like, oh, I just found out about this person.
Right.
Like, you could still be someone big and people not know of you. Like Bad Bunny, right? There's plenty of people that don't know who Bad Bunny is.
Yeah.
I barely know who Bad Bunny is. And then I found out, oh, he's like a huge artist.
Yeah, he has a very big following.
Yeah, he has a huge fan base.
Who's the other one? Who's like Bad Bunny? He did a song with 6ix9ine before.
And Noella.
Yeah.
And Noella.
Yeah, he had a song with Meek too, actually.
Yeah. Like he's like a real street dude apparently, or not. I don't know, but
for like his genre of music.
Yeah, he's like the street version of like his music or something like that.
Yeah.
But but back to what we were saying though, like with Cardi B, right? Yeah. She's a huge artist, but she's known for her popularity even prior to Love and Hip Hop. She was popular prior to Love and Hip Hop. Because Love and Hip Hop is based off people that are music related, right?
Supposed to.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Either if it's a past or they're a working artist, right?
Yeah.
But most people, only reason I knew about her on Love and Hip Hop was because the girl from Instagram is on Love and Hip Hop.
I didn't know her Instagram.
That's
beginning.
what.
So you
knew
about her musically first.
No. I knew about her from Love and Hip Hop. We even talked about it. I was like, yo, she's fine as hell.
Yeah.
That's how my discovery to Cardi B. It wasn't. I didn't know about her Instagram popularity.
Right, but even then, like she had a huge Instagram popularity at the time, and that's why I say like even in the sense with Meg, right?
Yeah.
Meg has put out some big records last year. She had big records last year. She had a huge movement, huge female movement.
Yeah.
After Cardi B and after Nicki Minaj,
it's her.
Yes, it's her. So, like, for me, her selling 44,000 is not good to me.
No, it's not good. It's not. I agree with you. That's not good. That's definitely out.
That just shows the gap between who's actually doing it and like the people who are popular but still not proven. You know?
And it also shows that I think the not celebrity thing, but the bad promo run of the issue with 1501 kind of just didn't help her none, because I think they thought they could capitalize off of that.
I think if anything,
and I heard a lot of girls through Twitter, I heard a lot of girls say they didn't really care for it. Granted, social media is a place where people choose to make negative opinions despite not listening to shit sometimes, but
Lisa, she's a Meg the Stallion fan, and she didn't care for the whatever you want to call it, EP, album, whatever. She didn't care for it, and she didn't. Besides, like maybe 2 songs out of there, she was saying like she feels like Meg the Stallion is like she can rap or whatever, but she feels like her songs are kind of like like the city girl trend where it's all the same shit and it's not really diverse. Right. It could get old really quick when you're expecting great things from an artist.
That's what I'm saying. Like with Cardi B, like. Yeah, she's a personality, but it just so happens that she also makes pretty decent music as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And she has party.
Yeah, sure.
But also we don't expect extremely great music from Cardi B. We don't.
No,
we do. I think I think in the terms of the type of music she makes, I think you expect even though
at least good music.
yeah, because for one, because she has writers, and she has one particular writer. She has one writer in particular that's pretty much gotten her to where she is. Partisan Fontaine, like you expect at the end of the day when Cardi B dropped her first album, right?
Right.
We're not like, oh well, we're not like some people that take it lightly, cool, but like most people are like, I really want to see let me see if she's going to deliver, because at the end of the day, if you don't deliver, that's it.
But
like,
there's also people who let her deliver because they like her personality.
Right.
They want to see her do well.
Exactly, but I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like you want to see if she's able to deliver. And when her first album came out, I think she delivered. Though some people scrutinized her for it.
So here's my thing. When I mean like expectation, I don't mean like her not doing well. So let me really explain what I mean. What I mean is like her. I'm not expecting the quality of music as like. I don't want to compare it to a male rapper, but unfortunately I have to. Kind of like when we listen to like the Jay-Z Electronica, we're expecting to hear some real fire shit, but also some real rap shit.
Okay.
We're not expecting that from Cardi B, and I feel like that's why a lot of her music. I mean, it sounds good and it's definitely entertaining, but I think because we don't have those type of expectations is why a lot of people fuck with her music. Mm-hmm. Now with somebody like Meg the Stallion who's killing it on freestyles and shit like that, and we're like, oh, this girl can actually rap, and plus she's bad too when she comes out with her music. And this is not my opinion, but I'm just saying for like maybe that's what's contributed to the 44,000 album sales. Like, oh, maybe the music is not hitting like that. That's what I'm saying. If you listen to Jay-Z, you're expecting a certain type of level of music. You're not expecting, but if he comes out with some like Trippie Redd level type of music, you're going to be disappointed.
Oh hell yeah!
Exactly.
The bar for Jay-Z is astronomically high.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. When you don't expect much, you and something ends up delivering better than your expectations, you become impressed by it.
And you create that, but that's when you create a bar for that person, though.
Right. Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Which contributes to the whole Meg the Stallion thing and
I get
the Cardi B.
He's saying because there wasn't a lot to work with Cardi B, the bar is not going to be high regardless. And not only that, from what she was producing, it wasn't going to be super high.
She had one of the biggest songs in history at that time. So I think from that song right there in itself, Bodak Yellow, right? You're still going to say, well, how well. You're still going to come in with expectations because you're thinking, okay, you had this huge song. A lot of artists have a huge song and they put out really bad music afterwards and they drop.
But they're not going to be as high as like, let's say, YB and Cordae, because like we know he can kind of produce like a higher quality of music.
But it's also because he didn't have a huge. It's not like he had like a huge song, like If you
just off of quality though, not off.
I mean,
that's
but
what I'm talking about, quality.
Of course, quality takes a front seat no matter what artist it is, and quality is subjective based off the type of artist. Right. So like, there's still expectations for there were still expectations for Cardi B. Would she be able to deliver after having one of the hugest songs and being possibly a one-hit wonder? Like, and she was able to deliver. And when you look at Meg the Stallion, she had a huge song, Big Ol' Freak, and it was like one or two other songs after that last year, and she was on featured everywhere. The question becomes, can she deliver? Can she deliver? And I personally didn't listen to the album, so I can't give you the objective opinion of my opinion on what the music was, but from what I'm hearing and seeing the sales, it's not a high expectation. Like she didn't deliver.
No, I gave like the first couple songs to listen, but the thing about this kind of like 2 podcasts ago, or maybe it might have been the last podcast, I said like I really like listening to music that I could like relate to. I mean, there's times where I'll listen to bullshit for fun because it's good to have your what is it called, like an escape, right?
Yeah.
And it's times for that. But like with Meg the Stallion, I'm not listening to her for an escape. I'm listening to her just to like, okay, let's see what she got type of deal.
Right.
And she's talking about shit that I'm like, okay, this is strictly woman shit. That's why I can't really give a real criticism on her album, because I'm going to be like, I have no interest in hearing about, you shaking your ass and you
tricking dudes out.
Yeah. Like that's not for me. So so I'm not going to listen to it, and I'm just going to trust the opinion of a real Meg the Stallion fan.
I respect that. I want to listen to it though, just to kind of get my own type of feel on it. You know what I mean? Even if it's only one time, like I'll know it's not for me.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'll know as to what the quality of music she's putting out.
I think I for sure think she can rap, and I will not say that she's trash, because I don't think she is.
Right.
But her music just, I mean, maybe just this project, but as of right now, I'm like, I don't think I could really listen to a whole project from her, just because she does just talk about just for
one dimensional.
Yeah.
It's one dimensional.
Yeah.
Well, what else y'all listen to? I know y'all heard the new Electronica.
Yeah.
And
Dog, listen.
Okay, so you're really excited.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Inshallah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
You know what that? Never
What?
mind.
Yeah, bro.
I know.
so what do y'all think?
So first, before, like, how loud
Let's
get?
not talk about how great Jay-Z is for 30 minutes. Let's just start.
Well, hold on.
We all know he killed it.
Yeah,
Jay-Z
hold
murdered
on.
every feature
Hold
on
on.
there except for.
Gosh, hold on, bro.
All right,
Let me start. Let me
All right,
start.
I'm just saying.
Jesus.
All right, go ahead.
Niggas just want this to be a. We just talked about Meg the Stallion for 20 minutes. He's like, yo, Jay-Z killed it. So anyway, so anyway, back to this coronavirus thing.
Nah,
Like,
go ahead.
Like, so I'm on Twitter and I see someone say, oh, something about Jay Electronica doing a listener party. I don't know if I told y'all, but I was supposed to go to the listener party, right?
Okay.
It was in New York. And then Tidal canceled it because of the coronavirus, right? Yeah, so I was like, well, fuck it. It is what it is, because it was in New York and LA. Come to find out, he goes on live and he does a listening party on live. So I'm like, oh, this is a bet. It's like 11:30 at night, 11:20. I'm listening to. I think I sent it to y'all.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, this shit sounds hard. And then out of nowhere, he's like, what time is it? It's 11:52 in New York, right? He's like, in 8 minutes, the album's dropping. I'm like, yo, this is about to be wild.
Right.
Go on Apple Music. For about 20 minutes, Apple Music does not have the album. I signed up for Tidal, right?
Yeah.
For the free trial shit.
Okay.
I press play, and he starts off with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, right? Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
R.I.P. Fredo Santana. I'll explain why I said that. I'll explain why.
That was
Did
real.
they meet up recently, like prior to him dying or whatever?
Yeah.
Prior to him passing.
Oh, he met up with Louis.
Farrakhan, yeah. Actually, Farrakhan personally invited him.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, man. Fredo was really connected. That's why niggas don't fuck with him.
Rest in peace. But yeah. So I press play, and I'm like, oh, he's starting off with Farrakhan. This is already left field off the gate.
Right.
You don't hear no. I'm like, oh, he's trying to be on some Nas Take Me Back to Africa type time.
I fuck with it though.
I love it.
I listen to I'll listen to stuff like that from time to time, and I love listening to like some of the stuff Farrakhan talks about, or whatever. Like just hearing different points of views on subjects.
Right.
Man has a lot of wisdom over the years and so on and so forth. So I'm like, okay, this is about to be some heat. I know it's about to be some heat. I thought he was gonna go into rapping right away. Second track comes on.
Yep.
Oh.
That's
I'm like,
That's
oh.
it.
Now
That's all she wrote.
remind you, I'm low key now at this point. I'm mad because I'm saying, damn, I know Jay-Z's on this album already because I heard it on live. Jay starts off the verse, kills it.
Yep.
Every song kills it. Jay Electronica, did his thing throughout parts of it. Like, listening back, I was like, oh, Jay Electronica did way better than what people are saying.
Yeah.
I think a lot of his content is just a lot different than what you expect for an artist for their first album.
The bar is pretty high for Jay Electronica. with him not having so much music out and also like having, 8 Jay-Z features, you know what I mean? Like it's just there's a lot riding on this debut album for him. And it's like I don't want to say it's unfair because I don't think it is. Like you take like
But that's
10 years to put out an album.
But see, that's where I become a little opinionated on this, right?
Okay.
To me, one, I think it's a Jay-Z album featuring
No.
Jay. Yes, it's a Jay. To me, it's more of a Jay-Z album featuring
Jay.
So tell me a verse that Jay Electronica had better than Jay-Z.
It's not about the quality.
No,
it's not about who had the better verse. I'm definitely gonna say Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z is the greatest rapper of all time.
Facts.
But I think think about it I like to call it airtime. Jay Electronica had more time in each song than Jay-Z did. That's why I don't see it as a Jay-Z album.
But if I smoke you on every song, if we do that's not, to me, it's not to me, though it's posed as a Jay Electronica album, it is like it's just his woke version of a.
Then you might as well say that every song that Drake is featured on, it's a Drake song.
No, that's different.
By your standards.
No, it's different. If it's like saying if Party Next Door and Drake did an album together, right? Or let's say Division and Drake do an album together complete. No, we can't even do that because it needs to be two rappers.
Okay.
If Drake and let's say Drake and the Baby did an album together, right?
We could do What Time Be Alive since that was actual.
Yeah.
Album.
I mean, and you know something? Some people say that's more of a Future album than a Drake album, to be honest, than a joint album. To me, my thing is this: you have the arguably, not really arguably, but some will argue the greatest rapper of all time.
Okay.
Right.
On almost out of 9 songs, he's on what 8? 8 of the 9 songs.
What's the one song he wasn't on?
It was like the second to last song, if I'm not mistaken.
No. The one with the dream? Because I thought he was on every song.
It's either
No,
the
no, I think it's like the 4th song.
Are you thinking of like Universal Soldier?
Nah, Universal Soldier, they're both on it. I think Benny the Butcher should have been on that song too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what fucking song you're talking about. It's not the last song. It's definitely not the last 2 songs.
You know the last song they wrote after Kobe died, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said it on live. He said they recorded that song after Kobe died.
What was the significance of him saying that?
I think just to give you an idea where, because you know a lot of times you just hear the music that artists make,
Right.
and you never, and that song is very intimate. For the people that haven't listened, it's about
His mother.
his mother, but Jay-Z also talking about, I think Jay-Z's kind of probably alluding to Kobe and other people that he's been friends with, that these people have passed away and you're talking about remembering them and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's the phone line he said?
Yeah, I got people on my phone that I'll never be able to text.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that's the reason behind it. That's probably the inspiration behind that song.
Yeah.
For one, because I mean, Ho's been in the game for so long. He probably knows Kobe Bryant. Like all these people, all these huge celebrities know each other from our culture for the most part. Whether they like each other or not, they all know each other in some form or fashion. So, I think that song in itself was like, okay, I think that song, to me, that's my favorite song off the album. Jay-Z's not on one song. To me, Jay-Z has a better verse on almost every song.
Okay.
He's on every song. Every song except one, which is, so he's out of 9 songs, there's 10 tracks, one's an intro, so out of 9 songs, he's on 8 of the 9 songs.
I'm trying to think what song.
It's like the 3rd or 4th song. We'll figure it out after this is over. But yeah, he kills every song, and to me, it's like
he does.
Like and he starts the album off to me, which is kind of like, oh, you're starting the album off like this is it'd be like you featuring me on your album, right? Okay. And your first song on your album, you have me start your album off.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Well, remember Earl Sweatshirt and Doris.
I was about to say, it wouldn't be as weird if for the rest of the songs he wasn't like on every other song.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, I just don't think it's a Jay-Z album because, like I said, I hear more Jay Electronica than Jay-Z on there.
I don't.
That's why I feel like, okay, this is a Jay Electronica album. I'm not saying that Jay-Z's not better. We're on the same team on that, so that's not the narrative. I just think that it is Jay Electronica because I hear more of him. He has more verse time, and he's doing more choruses than Jay-Z. And I was like, okay, this is a Jay Electronica album.
I think that like the way it is, it's like Jay Electronica featuring Jay-Z for the whole album. That's really like the way it is.
Yeah.
essentially.
But to me, if you're doing that, it's a joint album. It's not a solo.
That's
I
what
agree.
it is.
I agree with you on that.
To me, that means it's a joint album, which to me means it's just another. It's his. Truthfully, I want to rhyme like Common Sense. Watch the Throne album. It's his Common Sense. Watch the Throne album. We never heard Jay-Z on these type of beats like this. Like, kind of, but not as a package.
Not as a package.
Yeah,
yes.
like
yes.
you hear me hearing song because Jay-Z's rapped over soul beats and stuff like that before. He went 444, but even this type of music because Jay Electronica produced a lot of the album himself.
Fire production, man.
Yeah, some of
It's like definitely on some of those beats.
some of the songs. I think it's like Flux Capacitor. I didn't really like the
That
beat.
song is trash, man.
No, the song is. I like the song. I think that song is better for stadiums, but I don't.
I didn't think that was the best song. The one song I actually thought that was like, not lyrically, but beat wise, was Universal Soldier. I thought the beat on Universal Soldier was kind of. I thought it was very bland. But,
What?
But because of the rapping of Jay-Z and Jay Electronica, really saved that song.
That beat, the second part of that beat is crazy to me.
I can't remember what the song sounds like.
To me, it's like, to me personally, I think Benny the Butcher should have been on there. Someone told me Benny wouldn't be able to stand a chance with them, and I totally disagree.
What was the song that Alchemist produced?
I disagree. Oh, was it
that beat is fucking fire, man.
Is it the Never Ending Story?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite song off the
That beat, man.
That.
And the Blinding or whatever, like that beat's fire too.
Oh yeah, the Blinding.
I agree.
I think that's Universal. Yeah, the Blinding is really good also.
I agree with you, Spence. I think Benny Butcher definitely would have held his own.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like those type of beats, it's like made for him to rap on. You know.
Yeah. I actually heard someone speak on the album. They said the beats kind of remind you of like that lo-fi that you get from the Benny the Butcher Griselda sound somewhat.
I can see that.
You said lo-fi.
Especially with that,
I thought you were talking about.
Huh?
My bad, God.
When you said lo-fi, I'm thinking of like who's that famous Japanese hip hop producer that did Samurai Champloo and shit like that.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's when lo-fi. That's what I'm thinking of.
Right.
Yeah.
But lo-fi can be subjective just because of the climate of music today
Yeah.
in comparison to what Benny the Butcher and what Griselda puts out overall.
But I mean, honestly, I felt like West Side Gun could have had a verse on the Never Ending Story. Would it have been good? I mean, that's that's up for debate, I guess. But
Right.
I felt like those beats like yeah. But I think that album's good. Here's my worry with that album. I don't think it's going to get the respect that it deserves commercially.
Well, I mean,
I don't think that was a commercial based album though.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's an album. It's released. We have to critique it like anything that's categorized as an album.
In my opinion, I think that as far as like rap goes right now, I think the people who are going to be selling like a lot, if you're not like, let me be careful about how I say this. I feel like a lot of the people who are selling right now, if you're not your Kendricks, your Drakes, your J. Coles and things like that, if you're making the type of music that he's making, you might not sell as much as somebody who's making music like a Lil Uzi, because that's what's popular right now.
Yeah, I can agree to that, and I think the album would do a lot better. This is the reason why I think it's really a J album, more a Hove album more than a Elect album. Is I think, to me, I think though we know is okay. Jay-Z's on like almost every song just about.
Yeah.
Like you would think, okay, with Jay-Z being on every song, this album was gonna do good. Because Jay-Z always puts up those record numbers. Mm-hmm. But to me, I feel like he's like, okay, we did a joint album, but I'm not going to say it's my album. It's your album. So, because we all know the numbers aren't going to be there for it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that's a shame. Because out of the albums that recently just came out this past week, this album was clearly the best album out of them. It's better than fucking the Lil Uzi album.
Uzi album was hard, too.
Well, before we get into that, I just think it's the best album out of all of them, man. And just because of, J Electronica, it doesn't have that name, like Nigel was mentioned moments ago.
But he didn't promote it either, though.
No, you're right. He didn't. So I'm not saying that it's, it is what it is. I'm just saying it just sucks that type of quality music is not going to get its commercial shine.
Yeah, that's not what's selling now, and that's unfortunate. Not to say that it doesn't sell at all, but like when it comes to people who aren't in like your household names, it doesn't sell as well. It's just what it is.
I mean, it's not going to sell though, because with an artist like that, like I don't have the corona. Positive.
You get tested?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Nah, though. Like I feel like if Kendrick made that album, right? Mm-hmm. I think if Kendrick made that album, it probably would sell 300,000.
Yeah,
I think maybe 200, maybe 200,000. But at the same time, it would be a promotion, and he has a name. Jay Electronica, don't get me wrong, he's known by those that remember him. Like Jay Electronica's, you don't hear anybody that's 22 that's like, oh yeah, I can't wait for this new Jay Elect album.
You're right.
Because we all know Jay Electronica from when we were in high school when he dropped Exhibit C. Yep. And then there's like, if you chose to actually look for him, there's songs scattered through the internet. Right. So a guy that doesn't promote the album, that doesn't drop a single, that just tweets, yo, I got an album coming. And the rumor was Jay-Z's on a lot of the songs. Then it's like, okay, I don't know if this is I don't think this is something that is really being promoted. This isn't anything that's under the construct that Hov has always done before. And plus, I have just the Jay-Z version of the album also, and it low-key kind of sounds better.
Really?
Yeah. The Jay-Z
just took the verses off.
Yeah, I found out on Twitter. Someone has like just the Jay-Z version to the album.
Hey man, I mean, for me personally, I think, and tell me if y'all agree with this or not. But I think that part of the reason why he might not have promoted this album was one, like, after not putting out this music, he already said on the album that he was afraid of being judged. Maybe he didn't want to be judged even further, you know what I mean, by, having the least amount of eyes on it as possible. Or maybe he thought just off of his name and having Jay-Z on it alone, he would be able to do, numbers or whatever. Or maybe he just doesn't care.
I think he just doesn't care.
I was going to say, I don't think he cares.
Because, I mean, you got to think.
I mean, you would figure that if he didn't care, why would he go out of his way to say on his album that he did? Because he said he didn't want to be judged. He said that.
Yeah, but I think he cares in terms, because every artist is sensitive.
Of course.
Like, so I think he cares, but I think he doesn't care in the capacity of, if this doesn't become anything, like, this is something that I wanted to put out, and
like it's for him.
And it's like, my favorite artist. I'm my favorite artist's favorite artist. He's probably one of Jay-Z's favorite artists, right?
I mean, you would figure if you can get 8 verses from him.
Yeah. And like, let's be real. From hearing other artists talk about Jay, right? They all say, yeah, J. Cole has said it. Like, J. Cole's made songs about it also. Oh, when you sign with Jay always says, okay, you had that one song, but what's the next big record? And all of these things.
Jay-Z's always been like that, man. All right, you got one. Let's get the.
Yeah, it's like, I see what you got, but what else you got in the tuck?
Yeah.
So like, for Jay-Z to have this sign an artist, 7-8 years ago? Because Shiny Suit Theory came out 2012?
Something like that.
Yeah, so you had this artist signed for 8 years. He's never put out an album. He kind of just did his own thing, and then he finally puts out an album, and it's a group album. It's a joint album, really. So it shows like, okay, Jay-Z probably was like, yo, let's do this. And plus, I think Jay-Z had more hands in this project than what we realized. Because the way Jay-Z's rapping on this album is nothing but like a 5%er, conscious, OD lyrical, triple, double entendres. And
I love that shit, man. Like,
yeah, and he waited till he was a billionaire.
Man, when I have
to rap like this
really
at 50.
When I have to really look up what you're talking about, I like that shit a lot.
Exactly.
Because it's like, damn, like I really, like, not only do I have to think, like, I don't even know what you're talking
He's talking about African spirituality, bro.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
So,
yeah.
You know what rapper that has me doing that? But he's not on the...
Playboy Cardi?
No, what rapper has been doing that, but it's not on the level of Jay-Z. I was gonna say like Action Bronson, because he says a lot of, he relates a lot of shit to.
Oh, Jay-Z had a crazy bar about that because Action Bronson makes food bars. Yeah. Duck and Fez, so we used to duck Fez. Now we eating confit. Confit is like duck, is pretty much eating duck that's like cooked in duck fat. I was like, so you ducking the Feds, eating anyway. Go ahead. I cook a lot.
Yeah.
Huh?
No. But no, I'm just confit. Well, it was an old line that, and I'm not gonna be able to recite because I haven't heard the song in a while. But he was like, it was a Sunday. I had the Hyundai, and I had the jacket the same color that Slash did, or some shit like that. And if you didn't know, like the old guitarist Slash from like Guns N' Roses, you thinking like, oh, what the fuck is he talking about? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he's good as Jay-Z because he's not, but I'm just saying like I like it when artists do say shit that makes you like, oh, what is he talking about? Make you want to look shit up. You know what I mean? Not talk about no bullshit.
Yeah. Because someone asked me this question. I want to ask y'all. Do you think y'all be listening to this album in a couple weeks?
Yeah, I do.
Easily. Yeah.
Like I think that more so than like a Lil Uzi or somebody else's album where I'm just trying to get the vibe. Like I'll listen to that when I feel the need, but I'll listen to this because I'm trying to get what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Well,
over and over again.
To me, it gives me like that timeless vibe where I feel like 3 years from now, we could listen to it, no problems.
I listened to the documentary like it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and I got a bar that I missed. You know what I mean? A long time ago. I was just like, geez, man.
These are the albums that I really appreciate, and if CDs was still a thing, I would go out and buy a CD just because I really love it.
You can always buy a vinyl and a vinyl player.
But I just don't have a vinyl player.
You can buy one.
Let's go out and buy it. You got money?
Rob Nigel.
Right, man. I'm just
going to wrestling matches and shit, man. You got the money for it, man.
But
Big cozy, baby.
Yeah, you already know.
You got the Balenciagas on just to chill in the crib.
Hey, man. You already know, man.
What y'all think about Uzi's album?
I think the first one
hard.
sucks.
What?
So you don't like Eternal Take It All?
No, I don't like Eternal. All right, so
you talking about the one that came out last week?
Yeah, the Love versus the World?
No, that's the one that came out this week.
That's the one that came out this week.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Because essentially it's a separate album if you really think about it.
You don't like the more rap centric Uzi? Because that's essentially what Eternal Take was to me.
No, I don't think it was really rap centric though. If you think about it, like, are you saying that because he wasn't using auto-tune as much?
Yeah, I'm saying it because he was actually rapping instead of being melodic.
Yeah, he was spitting on that bitch.
Like he was rapping.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't care for it because of the. Well, I didn't care. It's not maybe. I didn't care for it because I listened to a lot of the songs and I was just like the beats were kind of weird, bro. And I didn't.
Those shits was hard.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I mean, like maybe you guys fuck with it. I just think this one that he just dropped on Friday was just better sounding to me. I thought I enjoyed listening to it a lot more than the normal Internal Take. Like the songs like "You Better Move." If you guys didn't know,
that's my.
I fuck with that song.
That song is hard. I was listening to that on my way over here, bro.
But if you guys didn't know, that was sampled from an old PC pinball machine.
That's a song.
I can believe it.
No, but it was just stuff like that kind of gave me like, well, I don't know. I didn't think it was that great.
Hold on.
I do like Silly Watch though. I thought that was.
So, hold on. Did you not like it initially hearing it, or was it once you found out it was like from a pinball machine?
No. So I recognized the sample. I just, but what I'm saying is, I didn't care for it. I thought it was one of those like.
That's like one of the hardest beats off there to me.
Yeah, man. That shit, I run to that shit, man. The thing is, like, I wasn't expecting some lyrical miracle shit from Uzi, so I was just like, okay, like this is gonna be running type music.
But you know you can actually
exactly
rap.
What
though.
I got. Say it again.
You know you can actually like rap though.
Yeah, no, like he wasn't.
Lil Uzi can rap. It's just I feel like he's just with the Eternal Take. I think he was trying to do something more than just be rap. I think
it was a concept album. I think.
Yeah, it was a concept.
It was a little bit of one,
yeah.
No, I think that the whole thing was a concept, and apparently, like if you could do research on it and try to understand what the whole album was about. which I'm not willing to do. Maybe you guys will. Since
I mean, it seemed for the most part it was about him being abducted and dealing with that situation. Like if I had to guess it just without looking into it, that's what it seemed like.
And it's based off of the not based off, but like I know the cult or whatever, right? Or
that's the title, but I don't think the album has anything.
No, but I'm saying the connection of you being abducted and
the
theme of it, and then it's
the
like
theme
okay,
was based off of Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
The suicidal cult. Yeah, you guys should take time and watch that documentary on it. It's actually kind of crazy with that. But I just think love. I don't even know. Was it Love versus the World? Love versus the World 2. I think that it's just better. I just think it's a better sounding Uzi album, even though it's part of Eternal Take, I guess, because he called it like the deluxe version. But I just think it just sounds better,
I mean, but I guess what I'm trying to get to is why do you think it sounds better? Because, I mean, the only difference I can see between the two albums, I mean, there's probably more than just a few, but like, there's more features and it's more of him on the melodic side than him on the rapping side. At least for like the first 6 songs.
I think the beats sound a lot better. I think the production is better on there.
Okay, that's fair enough. I don't know. I guess I'll have to listen to it.
When it comes to rappers like Lil Uzi and your Playboy Cardi's on there, I'm not, you don't go in there listening for the raps, really. You listen to the productions more or less of anything.
Nah, definitely being like I wasn't expecting, like I said, some lyrical miracle stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I just felt like for what I'm expected to hear Lil Uzi for, I thought he did a better job with the deluxe version, that's all. Yeah.
He's kind of smart in what he did. He dropped the album. It was like 18 songs, right?
Right.
I listened to some of it while I was driving to Virginia. Then when I was trying to listen to the what was it, Uzi versus the World 2 on my way up here. And you realize when he put out the second album yesterday, right?
Right. Or
Friday. He coupled it with the first album.
Yeah.
So it's all in total. It's like 32 songs.
Yeah.
He's trying to get those streams up.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Do you realize I think he recognized what Chris Brown was doing. Because
Chris Brown was doing that shit for him?
Chris Brown dropped multiple. I think Chris Brown in like the past 5 years dropped like over 200 songs. He had like 2 albums that was like 44 songs on 2 albums.
But how does that boost your streams though? Like, is it just more songs you have, more of a chance people hear them?
Yeah, I think it's the fact. You got to think about it. If I give you more music to listen to, you're more likely going to find more music you like, which means you're more willing to play. Out of 32 songs, let's say, like to me, like "Move," You Better Move, right? Yeah. Is a really great song, and I can listen to that song every day. Okay. You might be like, oh, I don't like that, but you like the Squish Phone or something like that?
No,
Silly Watch.
Silly Watch. My bad. Like you like Silly Watch. Yeah. You may listen to Silly Watch every day. Now, if he had said, I'm only dropping 12 songs and neither song is on there, you're going to be I only like 3 or 4 songs off of this. But if you drop 32 songs pretty much in 2 weeks, more than likely 10 or 12 of them songs people are going to love.
Yeah.
And he has a cult following. I think he sold 324?
Yeah,
the first album,
Yeah, his first album. So he could easily he'll probably end up streaming for a long time off of that. And do you think he's going to drop music? I don't even know if he's going to drop music after this.
I don't think he'll drop music for quite a bit of time. It might be another 2 years before he drops anything.
I was going to say, he's probably going to take some time before he drops something. I felt like he gave 2 fans where a lot of fans can. One, he could definitely go on tour and do plenty of shows off the 2 albums. Yeah. But 2, I feel like he gave some music for the fans to sit on for a while. And I feel like rappers like him, they don't. I think one of the biggest things is too much of it is what kills them. And I feel like when they drop shit like that, it keeps running. This is why I feel like Playboy Cardi has the cult following he does, because he doesn't really drop a whole lot of fucking music, and people still go crazy for it because they're anticipating new shit.
Didn't he have like over 1 billion streams or something like that?
Over 1 billion streams. His debut album just went platinum.
All to hear somebody say what?
What?
Hey man, you can't hate the SoundCloud go. The
SoundCloud go. That man says,
you even fuck with Kid Cudi.
Nah, that song's dope, man. I like that song.
See, so
I don't listen to him.
Nah, man, that song Kid Cudi's like it's a good song.
Oh,
Man. I can't even lie.
I found the sample.
What is it?
It's from
some old Japanese shit.
Yeah, old Japanese '80s song.
Yeah.
Oh, where?
Yeah, that's where the Pierre sampled it from.
I think what's funny though is that you're gonna have a lot of. I think right now I think we're gonna get probably like the most music right now.
Right.
Because like this whole COVID-19 thing.
Right.
And because between that and then you realize like, okay, there's no sports.
Well, the thing is that I'm not sure if y'all saw, but Frozen 2 was actually put on Disney Plus like early.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, because they know people are going to be inside.
Actually,
Everybody got to school.
Actually, my daughter just watched it last night. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Frozen 2, yep.
Jesus, that's nice. You know what actually has me pissed off about this stuff, right? I don't know if you know, but you know Samuel Jackson and Anthony Mackie just dropped the movie like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Didn't get any promotion.
Well,
it's actually got acquired by Apple.
You heard that the guy that they made the movie about, apparently they found some sexual assault claims about him or something like that. Yeah. Like, so the movie's supposed to come on Apple TV.
Yeah.
And then, like, it was like the night before it came out or something like that. It was like, hey, they got some claims against this dude. We're going to, like, shut this shit down.
Really?
Yep. That's why that happened.
Claims against the actors or like the actual...
The
guy.
guy.
The actual person.
That was the movie's based on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
really?
So, I mean, I guess they didn't want to support that, understandably so. So
I just saw a commercial for Apple TV saying it's coming soon still.
I mean, maybe the charges got cleared up then.
I don't know. You know it's in theaters though, right?
Is it?
It's this the BS about it. This is what had me hot. I didn't know what you just said, but I guess that makes more sense. But they had what was it? I looked it up to see what theaters it was in because I wanted to see it. Okay. I've been wanting to see this movie since November.
Okay.
Come to find out, it's in Pennsylvania, it's in Maryland, right? Mm-hmm. And Maryland, it's only in like Bethesda and some other place that I've never heard of. Okay. And it's in Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, it's only in Pittsburgh. It's not in Philadelphia. It's like only in like maybe 14 or 15 states, and it's only maybe in like 1 or 2 theaters that I don't think it fit the areas that it's in. It might not fit the demographic that it's trying to reach.
Nobody might go and see that shit now because all those movies are getting postponed and everything.
Yeah.
I was watching the UFC event last night, watching the fight, and there was nobody in the arena.
How was that?
It was a little weird.
I liked it. I thought it was a nice change of pace. Honestly.
Who fought?
Well, no, it was kind of cool, but at the same point in time, like there was just like nobody in the arena. It was different, more or less than anything else. Like if you see any live events, there's just nobody there.
The WWE did it. Remember?
Yeah,
they just did that too. Yeah.
That's
weird though. For them, it's weird.
Yeah, because I feel like they definitely need the hype from the crowds.
Yeah. The person who fought last night was Kevin Lee and Charles Oliveira. Kevin Lee missed weight.
Yep.
Really?
3 pounds, yeah.
Yeah, 3 pounds.
3 pounds.
3 pounds, and he lost.
And he lost. Yeah, he got.
But he's had a weight issue before, right?
Yes, it's crazy because he got tapped out. He
was winning the fight, in my opinion.
I don't think so.
I think he was.
I thought he was losing that.
I think he stole both of the rounds. Right, the first round he stole it because he had top control and he was landing elbows and punches before the round ended.
I think that was the second round.
No, it was in both rounds. And in the second round, he dominated the second round with just ground control. And I know the first half of the round, Oliveira was touching him up, but you can't ignore the fact that Oliveira was getting hit too with some rights. And then Kevin Lee just straight up dominated. I thought he stole the first 2 rounds.
I thought Charles Oliveira was trying to submit enough to where he was working enough. He was working on the ground to finish the fight. Like, yeah, he might not have been necessarily quote unquote controlling it, but he was trying to finish it with his submission attempts.
Right, but he was getting hit.
He wasn't getting hit that much to where I was like, oh man, like this is really changing the fight. Like,
but I don't think his submission attempts was a way. It'd be different if it was like he was throwing nothing but submissions and Kevin Lee was just trying to survive the whole round. That'd be different, but it wasn't like that. It was a competitive back and forth grappling on the ground, and I felt like what stole the round was at the last 30 seconds. Kevin Lee was able to land a little bit of ground and pound, and I was like, okay, he did enough to steal that round.
I'm not gonna say that I thought that it was enough. I'm not gonna say that he was dominating him, but I thought he was doing enough to where Kevin Lee seemed like he was more or less trying to defend the submission more so than being able to control on the ground. It's not like he was in his guard just throwing punches. Like he was trying to avoid the leg locks and things like that.
So it was more fighting defensively, if
right.
anything.
You know what I mean? Like he, in my eyes, I just saw him trying to defend more so than him actually being like offensive. He hit him with a few strikes towards the end of the round, but other than that, it wasn't like some big massive thing. You know?
Right, but then you have to take account of the first part of the round, which it was pretty even on the feet.
Yeah, it was.
So I just felt like Kevin Lee did more damage to win the first round. And the second round, like I said, he definitely controlled majority of that second round. The first part of it, Oliveira was touching him up, but he was getting hit as well. In the third round, if Kevin Lee didn't take Oliveira down, he could have probably, because Oliveira was starting to get worn down, you could see it. But Kevin Lee, he ill-advised takedown and he got guillotined.
Oh, no, I disagree with that. Like I was watching it, and I just don't think that he was winning the fight. It looked like I said before, like Charles Oliveira was just doing enough to win the fight. He was just trying to finish the fight, and actually seemed like he was defending himself more so than actually going along. I saw Damian Maia got knocked out.
What?
TKO. That shit was kind of funny. Like,
what?
He put him down what it looked like to be a right, and then just started like punching him in his face, man.
Jesus.
I think.
Not my
I
dog.
think. Well, the thing with the UFC right now, man, they're in a weird position because first they were planning to do everything at the UFC Apex for the next couple of weeks, but then Nevada comes out saying, "Hey, we're suspending all fighters' licenses, permits, or whatever." So now the UFC, they have to move their events again. Then the next Saturday was the London thing, was with Willie and Leon Edwards. And
Edwards backed out of it, right?
Yeah. So now, Willie, the main event is canceled because Leon Edwards, he, due to whatever reason why, he couldn't make the flight over from London to the United States.
He probably said to himself, "Listen, they got a whole band right now to the UK, like." Because at first, the COVID ban was just for Europe, excluding like the UK and I guess other countries, Ireland.
Yeah.
And then they doubled back and said no, anybody, no country from over there. So he probably is thinking of it from a safety precaution. You can't even get mad at that.
No, I'm not mad at him at all, and the UFC shouldn't be mad at him either.
Well, yeah, they shouldn't, but I just think that right now in the UFC they're going through a lot, just like the WWE. And I don't want to keep bringing the WWE up. It's just, but they've been a little bit of topic too because so the Super Bowl of wrestling, right, WrestleMania, it's in danger of being canceled, and that's like Vince McMahon's like
bread and butter.
Baby, yes, bread and butter because that event's supposed to hold 70,000 people there, which is it's big time, a lot of money. But due to being in Tampa, the officials down in Tampa are saying like, "Hey, we're thinking about pulling the plug," and I don't know how much impact that will affect Vince McMahon, but if he doesn't decide to postpone the event or whatever like that, and have it just outright canceled, that's going to be. I'm pretty sure that's going to be detrimental to him.
Yeah, because it's more than likely just like any business where, let's say you take a few shortcomings throughout that fiscal year, and then it's like, okay, well, this is where I make the most of my money, so the company's able to move a certain way and maybe put on more, give more than what it can afford at times, right. Because it's like, well, we make all this money back at WrestleMania, so you postpone it. But and like Vince, like for Vince, because this is a subject I want to talk about with the UFC that I heard Chael Sonnen talk about, but like for Vince McMahon, like for him, more than likely they're gonna have to postpone it because unlike the UFC, they have a possibility of if it's successful, just not having fans anymore like that at some of their fights and just doing them like the small room fights. Yeah. Because from what Chael Sonnen was saying, like if you think about it, this may be like if it's successful, you're not going there to see the entertainment of people getting thrown through chairs and hyping up, being hyped from the crowd. It's just, I just want to see these two guys fight.
Exactly.
So, and from what I'm hearing, like from what Chael Sonnen was saying, that gate when it's about how many people attend, it doesn't really bring in most of the money. Most of your money comes from pay-per-view.
I
And you could probably put it in, instead of saying, okay, let's say it costs whatever let's say it costs $1 million or whatever for just to get the T-Mobile Arena.
Right.
Dana's like, well, fuck that. I don't have to get the T-Mobile Arena. I can get a small spot, $50,000, $80,000, maybe $200,000 at the most.
And start saving money with the smaller venue is what you're saying.
Yeah, and then
I mean,
just
it would make sense.
Yeah, tell me this: you wouldn't still go see Conor McGregor fight on pay-per-view even if it was just him and Khabib fighting in a small room?
No, I would, like, for sure I'd watch it, but I'm curious to know, because, you know, I think their goal is to get more fans than not have enough room for fans, you know?
Yeah.
I think that...
Or maybe they'll do it for smaller events, maybe.
That's what I was going to say. For the smaller events, I think that would be perfect because, you know, the UFC would probably save money from the smaller venues. Because when you look at the small events, you know, if they and UFC, they're smart in what they're doing, but if you carefully watch, they're going to these arenas where, okay, they're not big time arenas. That's why it looks like there's a lot of people in the crowd and shit like that. But if they go to like let's say they start performing in universities, kind of like where college basketball teams host their games and shit like that.
Right.
It might be better for them because one, they'll be saving the money, but two, you know, people are not going crazy to go see, you know, fighter X and fighter Y. Right. Versus now, if it, like you said, Conor Khabib, people are going to bring the money out for that. They're going to want to come.
And the demand to be higher because, you know, like the event, even like the event we went when we saw Justin Gaethje, right? Yeah. That event, they could have really said, oh, you know what, we'll just put that. They could have said, oh, we can just put that in the Bob. They could have put that event in the Bob possibly. Yeah. And said, hey, listen, we put this in the Bob. This is only going to be like what Smack does, right, for the URL. Some URL has app-only events. So you can't, if you don't have a membership for the URL pass or whatever, you can't watch some freestyle battle. You can't watch some rap battles because you need to own the app. You have to have a membership. Right. And with the UFC now, they're going through this paywall thing of, oh, you want to watch all these other fights? You got to have ESPN Plus. Yeah. So, if you have ESPN Plus, you don't have to worry about going too far. You can actually just watch the fight, and you're still going to watch the fight. You'll be more engaged, more inclined to watch the fight. Because it's like, if you don't have the app, you can't watch it because you can't go anywhere to watch it. Yeah. It may be screened on. It may still show on TV, possibly, for whatever reason, if they choose to. But they're like, well, it's not going to cost as much, and we're still going to have the same fan base. Right. And then you'll see that aspect of, well, shit, they're actually having a big fight. I need to go see this because I can't even see Justin Gaethje fight or even Damian Maia is not a headline. Not at this point.
For a fight card, for a fight night.
Exactly. Like if you had all your fight nights, if they put all their fight nights, like you said, in small venues, but even said, scratch that. We're just going to put them in. We'll maybe do 1 or 2 fight nights every quarter. That's actually going to be somewhere.
Well, I think it's a good idea, but at the same point in time, like, how would that affect fighter pay?
Well, not only that, though, I don't think the small venue thing I think is good to save money, but not to put them in any venue, period. I think that would be a bad idea because I think the build for them was because people could come see the live fights and all that, and that's always going to be an attraction. Right. So if your headliner is Damian Maia versus somebody, you don't have to put them in Madison Square Garden. Right. But, but not putting them in a venue, period. You just put like, all right, let's go to a random gym. I don't think that's going to fly, really.
True. Yeah. And maybe that might end up being the case. It may end up saying, you could always do the idea of supply and demand. Okay, we limit the supply so the demand goes higher. Yeah. So even let's say a Conor fight, right? Yeah. If this whole thing works, where, okay, if we don't even have anybody here because of the virus and people are still willing to tune in. Yeah. Oh, well, shit, I might just go do something. You might be able to say, well, we'll do it a different way. Now, I think not different way, but putting it in a smaller venue. And even you might put Conor McGregor in a smaller venue. The smaller venues and raise the price of the tickets.
I feel like,
and his type of fans are going to pay. Khabib fans will possibly pay. I think it's tricky because it's a tight line that you're running at the end of the day. Like,
I'm not sure if I agree with that.
I could tell by your face.
I feel like for like the situation, kind of like with the coronavirus, you could do like a ballroom type of deal for big fights due to the situation of what we're dealing with, where some governor or mayor has ordered, hey, not more than 100 people. But if let's say that we're not dealing with that, I just don't see how you cannot put Conor McGregor in a
huge.
Madison Square Garden. Somewhere
true.
Big.
Yeah.
There's just
true.
too much money to be made off of like tickets and things like that,
But that's the thing though. The tickets themselves don't really the tickets don't really pay, from what Chael was saying, at least from his aspect of actually being behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He says those ticket sales don't cover the cost of the venue. What really covers the cost is the pay-per-view buys.
Well, Chael, I like Chael.
And I'm only saying this because it was saying from the perspective of actually working with fight organizations to actually put on fights.
Right.
And granted, it's subjective because it's not like he was paying for Conor McGregor to get in there.
Yeah.
But he may know the numbers though at the same time.
And I don't want to discredit Chael.
Right.
But Chael also said that Floyd Mayweather, even though on paper he was getting paid $300 million, he said that Floyd didn't even go anywhere close to making $300 million. And that was just all the facade, which I don't believe. I feel like Floyd definitely got, if he didn't get $300 million because Uncle Sam took his cut, that's cool. Yeah. But he definitely didn't get, I guarantee he didn't get 50% of that. He probably got more than 50% of $300 million.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like, everything that Chael says, I'm not saying that don't discredit it, but don't take it for what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I think it was interesting hearing his perspective because it kind of gave you a different. For me, it gave me a different viewpoint, at least to say. Yeah. So, but
I think it's interesting times I think though, like watching the UFC without no fans right now, I don't think it's going to really hurt it a whole lot because it's one of those sports where you kind of mentioned a little earlier that you just want to see the fighters fight.
Right.
While in WWE, when they had that bizarre show on Friday where it was nobody in the arena but just the wrestlers.
Hold on, so that was real.
Yeah.
I saw something on Twitter about that. I thought it was like, I was like, oh, maybe this is like a bad promo or something like that.
No, it was real. I didn't watch the event, but I
saw clips from saw a clip from the event.
I want to turn on some highlights or some shit. I'm gonna have to watch that.
It's just so bizarre because it's like, you need, after going to a live event, I'm like, those wrestlers, this is what
feeds them.
Yeah,
that fuels
the crowd.
Yeah,
it's part of the show. The crowd is part of the show, and I feel like just to wrestle in front of an empty arena, it looks like
a soap opera.
Well, not only a soap opera, but it looks like are they rehearsing what they're trying to practice for the real show? It doesn't look.
True.
It doesn't look like the real thing. It just looks really corny. Like you said, I don't know if you said it or Nigel said it, but it just exposes
how fake it actually is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like, if you're like a really avid wrestling fan, you already know it's fake, so you're not watching it for the realism.
Right.
But then too, like, if you're watching it, you're watching it regardless of how it feels because you like what you're seeing. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like more of a, you're not watching it for the spectacle of the crowd. You're watching it for, the actual wrestling and the people, the characters and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think the crowd plays a huge part in that.
It does.
Like I think like when you play the heel, when you're the heel, that's the biggest part. Like being the heel, you can be the heel, but if there's nobody there to cheer you on, it doesn't motivate the heel to keep doing something bad, doing heel activity.
Right.
Just like even for, and I thought about this with like the press conferences they have, right?
Yeah.
What happens if you don't have people at the events? Those press conferences are not going to be worth shit, really.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's be honest, like a Conor McGregor event, right? What fuels it is, or the Conor McGregor, not even Conor McGregor, the Conor McGregor approach.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Nigel may want to talk about this especially, but Tony, when you saw Tony Ferguson,
Habib.
yeah, like that tone, that approach, that needs a crowd. You need a crowd there to kind of push that, or you need.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you just need like some type of fans or someone there that's outside of just the regular media scrum.
Oh no, definitely.
I agree with you on that.
You need somebody to feed off of you, of course. You know what I mean. But at the same point in time, like, I think this is something that can work for a short term. But if like you're like a Colby Covington, where you feed off of hate, and there's nobody there to hate you, you know what I mean. It's just like you're talking against somebody. They're like, okay,
yeah, and
that's cool.
And the biggest, I think the biggest downside is what happens when the fight is over. Because the biggest thing is when the fight is over, right? The guy who wins, hopefully, if he's a smart fighter, he's saying what he wants next, who he wants next, or he wants to pop his shit, right?
Yeah.
He can't pop. If you pop your shit, you popping your shit one for the people, but all for whatever you want for Dana to hear, but and the other fighters, but also for the fans.
For the fans, yep.
Well, one fight or one sport that's not out of play is the NFL.
I thought you were gonna say
going. What?
Really?
Well, as far as like their combine,
their off-season shit.
Off-season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they're not really playing.
Exactly.
But you saw
that. But
they
took
a word. They got a word from the NHL. They learned from the NHL.
What happened?
No, because the NHL said they were going to be suspended. NHL and MLB were saying they were going to start their training camp late, right?
Yeah.
Then somehow the NHL Canada figured some shit out and said, "Oh no, the season's going to be on just as we regularly explained."
Right.
Yeah, like they figured I think they said like, "Oh, our pre-camps and everything, we figured out how to isolate everything so we can still do everything." Because that's Canada's sport for the most part.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. If I was a sport, like, if I was an athlete, and you're telling me, like, hey, the one thing you don't want to be is around people who are breathing and sweating on you.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that my sport deals with people breathing and sweating literally on me. I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to stay home. Tell me when this is done.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out later. You know what I mean?
A lot of those players want to play, though, man. You hear a lot of the players are pretty bummed out. Like, for example, March Madness being canceled.
Right.
Man, a lot of coaches and players are somewhat upset about that.
I believe it.
You know, and
well,
I get it, it's for the public safety for people, but you know, players. I think the players would rather play their respective sports than sit out.
For some of those players, like, that's their time to shine and actually have teams look at them. They're probably like, I'm saving up for March Madness because you're gonna see me and then you're gonna want me on your team.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, I think it's partially that. Plus, I think you have, like you said, you have some players that you can have your season could be pretty good or decent, and then it's like I'm not a big fan of college sports for the most part, but from what I hear, like you have some players that he's decent, he did pretty well, he looks like he has promise, but it's still in question, and then that March Madness, like you said, is. Okay, now you're playing at the highest pressure of your sport,
right?
And this is where it shows, because that's really where that's really where champions are made and broken, and just the certain level of caliber and character of an athlete.
I'm not sure if y'all saw, but I mean, in the off season for the NFL, they just signed the new deal that pretty much they have a 17-game season.
Yeah.
17 games?
17 games. There's
extra game in the playoffs too, right?
An extra game in the playoffs.
Really?
With 4 extra teams.
Yeah.
Yep. This is the thing.
They're really trying to stretch this.
Well, apparently it's going to take away one of the preseason games, which will now be a regular season game.
Which is
that's not too bad.
It's good for people who want money because they're going to get paid regular season money. You know.
Yeah.
What I mean? So it's kind of cool.
But I think it probably also doesn't help like those players that we know won't start during the season.
Well, apparently it's supposed to help them more because there's going to also be more roster spots as well.
Oh, because there's 17 games, so some players may say, well, if we know we're going to the playoffs, and there's 2 extra games in the season between the season and the playoffs. I might actually want to sit this out more.
Something like that. I don't know the specifics behind it, but like, yeah, it's
I think it's good as long as the players are getting paid
exactly.
Yeah.
Fairly for that extra game. That's all. But
then you gotta say,
it was bound to happen though. Do you know if they're getting rid of the first round buys? Because I heard like during the deal was going on, one of the gripes was, so you know how normally in the NFL the best NFC team and the best AFC team, they both get first round buys.
Yeah.
Supposedly, only one team is going to get an NFL bye now, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the best team.
I think that's fair right there.
Yeah.
The best team should.
Like you earned it.
Right,
Hold on,
exactly.
only one team in the whole
league.
playoffs?
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair though.
I think that's corny though.
No.
Why?
Yeah. Why?
Because so you're telling me between the AFC and NFC,
Yeah.
only one team will get a bye.
Yeah.
That's corny because then, like, I get that, but it's also saying if both teams have a bye, because I used to love football when I was a kid.
Okay.
Like, that was the purpose. Like, so you're giving, if you're the best team in your division, in your conference,
Okay.
you deserve a bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you're telling me now it goes from the best team in their respective conferences because ideally these two teams will meet each other in the final in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
They both deserve a bye still at the end of the day.
Okay.
I feel like they both deserve a bye because
That'll happen. It's just so number ones will get buys from what I know. I could be wrong.
you're talking about number one seeds.
Yeah.
Oh, I
number
thought
one
you
seeds.
I thought you meant
always-
I thought you meant only one team.
No.
Oh.
The number one seeds on AFC and NFC. Will
Okay,
get-
all right,
It's
all
always
right,
been
cool,
like
cool.
that, though.
Right, but
Yeah.
now the number two seeds will not get a bye.
Right. It's
So-
always been like that.
So, for example, this
Number
year,
2 seed never ever got a bye.
yes, they did.
When?
The Ravens got a bye this year, and so did the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so they're limited to one team per conference.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
then.
that's fair.
That's fair. I thought
fair.
like I said at first, I thought you were saying just one team. I was about to say, oh, that's BS.
I might have said that, but if I did, I misspoke.
Okay.
So, I'll see when I'm editing this shit. So. All right. Well, I mean, is there anything we want to talk about before we get out of here, y'all?
Did we cover the corona like that?
We covered the corona for quite a bit of time. We're probably gonna have to edit some of that shit out.
I just think
Really?
that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we did talk about Tom Hanks and everything like that.
I think.
What do you think is going? Oh, go ahead.
I just think that the families, are really affected by this. Definitely, keep your head held up, please. Everybody just be safe. Don't joke around with it like some people already did.
It's like really just don't think it's funny.
But I think.
But I definitely called you when I was trying to get in contact with Nigel, and I said, "Yo, I think he might be on quarantine," and you definitely laughed, just like me.
Yeah,
It's not a laughing matter anymore.
Yeah,
Stop.
yeah. No,
You can't joke about it anymore.
Yeah. Now the crazy part is, when we both laughed about it on the phone, right?
Yeah.
Had we actually found out Nigel was in quarantine, would you say, "Oh, Spence, that's not funny at all"?
No, I would never say
You need to stop. It's actually happening.
Yeah, it's like, yo, that joke that you had was uncalled for. I laughed at an uncalled joke.
No, there's a difference in what I'm saying, man. Like, it's kind of like, all right, this highly contagious virus, right? Let's say the corona was so extreme where we could be in the present.
He's trying to take the PC view.
I'm not.
I see
trying
what
to,
you trying to go to.
Go ahead.
You trying to get on
Listen,
Oprah, huh?
listen, go ahead.
No,
You trying to be on Yachty's video?
That'd be bad without me dressing up, right? But what I'm saying is like,
Oh no, you gotta wear the dress, bro.
nah. But what I'm saying is,
Keep that in there.
what I'm saying is this, like, it's okay to joke about it, ha he, right? But it's one thing to physically do something, right? It's like, yes, we laugh about, all sorts of things, and we can have, a funny sense of humor with stuff. But once you start doing something physical, that's when shit is real. That's how I see it, man.
Have you played a team sport in high school?
Yeah, I did. I played basketball in my first high school.
So, how long did you play for?
Only for a year.
For a year.
Yeah.
So like when you were in the locker room, did y'all never like joke around or play around? Even when like the staph infection thing was like a serious thing.
So you're talking about, like, for example, somebody whipping the towel and smacking another nigga's ass. And
Yeah, but
that shit like that.
but even like when it was like maybe because I wrestled.
What do you mean, like play wrestling or something like that?
Yeah, like even
yeah,
after the staph infection thing, a MRSA was like a huge thing when we were in high
Rubbing
school.
people's faces on the mats and shit.
Yeah,
Just
like
stupid shit.
like staph was like staph and
People
MRSA
were
was
dying from staph.
yeah, and even then, like I still had teammates that joked around, like like even after practice, like we're joking around. Granted, I wrestled, so it's a physical sport. Like practice is not just running up and down the court. Is literally me grabbing another person trying to submit them, or pin them or whatever. But like you never joked around or played around, like even when it was something inappropriate.
Look,
Like or at inappropriate at quote unquote inappropriate times in the locker room? Or you never done?
No, man. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying that you got. I'm not saying that that's not real experience. My experience, I've never joked around with anybody physically. I've never joked around where if it's a serious situation, I'm joking about it physically. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I never done that.
So
if I had, God forbid, and and I'm not saying I do have it. But if I had AIDS, I'm not going to think it's a joke.
Jesus.
Wow.
Listen.
My God.
I did not see that coming. I thought you were going to say like COVID or something like that.
If I had a cold,
yeah.
Listen, straight to AIDS.
I'm not going around and just fucking out bitches just to think it's funny. Like, oh, this is a joke.
What? That's totally different.
No,
it's not.
It's
serious. It's serious.
It's totally, bro.
But it's serious,
bro.
Right? Is that?
That's crazy.
It's serious, but that's totally different.
Man, I hope I can leave that shit in there.
Please do.
That's wild.
Bro, that's totally different.
How is it different? Because both of them are sicknesses. Both are.
But one is contracted through a sexual intercourse. So that means at that moment, if you
contract it outside of sexual intercourse too.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Cool. But in the same breath, if you're messing with Jones, right?
Okay.
And you're saying this from the perspective if you're conscious that you know that you have HIV, right?
I'm just saying.
No. Answer my question.
No. If I'm not.
So you don't know.
Right.
So nobody's just going to joke around in sex saying, yo, STDs is not a thing you joke about during sex.
Really not.
like, have you ever heard someone say, yo, like if you hear me cough, right? You could easily make a joke like, oh, geez, bro, I hope you ain't got the corona. We might have to put you on quarantine, right?
You see that bump down there? It might be the herp. Oh, no.
That, and you know something? That's something I've seen joked around before.
Nah, that shit's not funny,
It's not funny.
That shit,
it's not funny.
But are they physically things, though? That's what I'm saying.
They're physical things.
You could joke about it verbally, but it's not funny when it's physically happening.
But nobody really jokes about STDs though. Like
do you know that? Because
listen, bro. I'm not gonna say I'm not no god I'm not Wilt Chamberlain, bro. But I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Like, it's not like I'm not Wilt Chamberlain. I'm not a guy that just lost his virginity yesterday. But I've never joked around about STDs with anybody.
Okay, and I never joked around playing grab ass in the locker room. Like, so
bro?
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that there's people out there that doesn't joke around physically. I'm saying I just don't find that funny when it comes to physical.
Did we not make a bet? Did we not make a bet one time? Did all three of us not make a bet that you was gonna have a second child before?
I actually don't remember that.
I remember.
Yeah, we all made this joke, right? Okay. We all made this joke and bet it like, oh, it's going to be like a year or 2 years from now, right?
I think you made a bet that you were going to have a kid before he had a second kid or some shit like that, right?
I think so.
Some shit like
I think so. Now, in that process, it's funny. It's a joke and it's funny.
Right, but it's not physical.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you had a kid, if you end up having a kid,
it would be a laughing matter.
Yeah, it'd be like, damn, we was joking about that. That's messed up. But damn, it was funny at the time. Nobody says, oh, yeah.
Right.
But at the same time, you could say, oh, well, you wish that on me. I'm mad at you. Why would you wish that I have a child? Because if I'm betting that you're going to have a child within a year, right, after having your newborn, that's me betting. That's pretty much me saying I'm wishing you have another child.
Right.
You could be you could take offense to that, right? Could you? No, I'm asking. Could you or could you not take offense to it?
Somebody could take offense to it.
Yeah. Cause you definitely
could take offense to it.
You definitely remember what I'm talking about.
No, I really don't. I'm trying to remember.
Yo, because Nigel.
I do remember making a joke saying, I thought it was Nigel I said that he was going to have a kid.
I don't remember who made the joke. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah. I remember me and Nigel definitely placed bets like $50, $100.
I was going to have another
kid.
kid.
You bet us. You were like, oh, I bet. He's like, oh, bro, that's easy money. I was like, I don't
know. Yo, that does sound familiar.
Pay up.
Pay up.
We didn't shake hands.
I don't remember shaking on that.
Pay up.
Just like we even because you said Michael Jordan in the last podcast, so we even.
Oh
Yeah.
No, I did it. I listened to that podcast. I did
it.
I definitely hit you up and you was like, "Oh, that's how you know people be reneging on their beds." Oh, nah, bro. I know nothing of what you're talking about. We never shook on that.
No, we did, bro.
I see.
You gotta bring it after this is done. Bring it up because I don't remember. It's
all right. I'll bring
it
it's
up.
about time
Jordan,
to wrap it up anyway.
Anyway, all right. So
any closing words?
Yes. So I just want to say, trust God. Fuck 12.
Okay.
All right. For me, I'm gonna just keep it simple. Stop buying everything in the stores. Some people actually want to eat food that don't want to fight over toilet paper. And keep your mental straight. You know what I mean? Like, and also remember, it's some old people that actually need shit. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh, invest in the stock market because with this economy doing bad right now, or the situation because of the COVID. I was just talking to someone about that. Invest.
Yes.
And you could probably make some good money off of this. Like I'm seeing, and oh yeah, anybody listening to this, right? If you like going on cruises, I'm gonna let you know now. Norwegian is like $11 and change.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and if you have 100 shares, of any cruise company, you get like a certain credit when you go on take a cruise with them.
Really?
Yeah, like Norwegian. Let's say if you have a 14-day cruise. 7-day cruise is like you get $100 credit.
Well,
so just giving y'all some game, you know what I'm saying? If y'all do what y'all want with it, and I'll probably be selling hand sanitizer really soon.
All I gotta say is don't take life too seriously. It's all jokes, you know what I mean?
Unless you're loud.
For the most part, like, you know,
I have to take life seriously.
Don't stress yourself out. But don't take life serious when you need to, but don't take it too serious. It's too short.
Yes,
Laugh.
It's very short. It's very, very short.
Laugh when you can.
And always,
and don't touch
happiness is the most important thing. Because you never know when it's your time to go, and tomorrow's never promised. So
all right,
he sound like Mahatma Gandhi right now.
All right.
But dang.
All right, y'all. Have a good one. Until next week. You have been highly advised. See y'all next time.
1.